Morning all, welcome back up to the plot. I'm up here today just to give you guys a final overview on how my growing season went and a quick look-see just to show you what's going on, which isn't much to be honest. Okay, I'll define my year into three categories: the good, the bad and the ugly. So starting with the good, the peas. I had some tremendous peas this year. That was the first time I was able to grow peas for about 2 years, so thumbs up. Broad beans, never have any problem with them, touch wood. Yeah, they were old faithful and always have been. The onions have been doing well. Last season they did great, this season just as good, in fact probably a bit better, so this must be good onion ground. The beetroot have been slow and steady. I grew spring onions for the first time, never grown them before. They seem to do well. What have I got in at the moment? I've got parsnips. They're growing, they're pretty steady. Yeah, they're the crop that I've got to look forward to in the winter months. French climbing beans, they were okay but they weren't brilliant. Potatoes, sarpomeras, they were good. I had some good big sarpomeras, but I want a decent all-rounder, so if you have any suggestions, let me know. I'm going to try King Edward's, I think, next year, but if you can come up with a decent all-rounder, that'd be great. And finally, I don't know, the grapes. The grapes were an added bonus, I guess. They're still on the vine at the moment, but they're looking a bit rough. But yeah, I'll try and sort the grapevine out in the coming year. Try and get it snaking around that top section there. Okay, on to the bad. Off the top of my head, I reckon it was the cabbages. I didn't show you guys the cabbages much, simply because I'm not a big cabbage fan, but you know, I tried them. And I guess I just didn't give them enough care and attention. I just left them out to the elements really, and they were decimated by slugs and caterpillars. What next? The Atlantic giant pumpkin. I'm not a pumpkin grower, I don't think. I didn't show that enough love, care and attention, and that kind of got to a decent size, I guess a small football size, but it didn't really push on from there, and I'm going to have to study up and gen up on how to grow some decent pumpkins. What else didn't do very well? The fruit. My raspberries just haven't done anything, so I'm thinking I'm going to dig those up in the coming year and replant them with some gooseberry bushes, some gooseberry plants, because the gooseberries, they did okay. The rhubarb, that Timperley Early I think it's called, has never really produced anything. I've given it 2 or 3 years now and it's never done any good, so I'm gonna dig that crown up, and I'm thinking of just binning it, to be honest. It just hasn't done anything, which is a shame because I really like rhubarb, and for 2 years I've been unable to have any. And that's despite it having a collar of manure around it both years, so it's not like I haven't been feeding it. I really have. And then finally the ugly. I'm trying to think what was the ugly part of this year on the allotment, apart from my face. We got broken into in September. This allotment site was targeted by thieves. I forgot to mention it at the time, but we did get broken into the top shed. We had a roll of felt in there which was taken. We don't keep any tools on the allotment, so they couldn't steal any tools. My neighbour on that side had his chimenea stolen, and the neighbour on the other side, Bev, her shed was broken into, but nothing was taken because she doesn't keep anything in there. Right, I think that's my roundup for this year's growing season. I'm going to try and do better on the cabbages next year. Yeah, hopefully I'll get some better fruit next year. I'm going to plant gooseberry bushes, like I said. And yeah, if I can find a decent potato, if you can recommend a decent potato, that's what I'll concentrate on next year. But apart from that, everything's been pretty decent. Yeah, more pros and cons this year. Anyhow, let's get up to the plot and have a look at what's going on. Come on. Right, here are those self-set broad beans, absolutely romping away. I don't think they're going to come to much because they're just growing too fast at the moment. It's the back end of October and they're already at a fairly decent size. I just fear that as soon as we get a cold snap, as soon as maybe we get some snow, it will just kill all these. Well, as you can see, the 2 rows of tomatoes that I showed you in the last video are looking very sorry for themselves. What I'm going to do is just pull these canes up. Here, I'll just take out the canes and dig these plants into this bed. So this was the potato bed. I finally dug out the last couple of rows of potatoes. Sarpo Mira this year. Pretty decent spud. Just couldn't make any chips with them. So this bed is now dug. There's a couple of, still some more self-set broad beans in this bed here. 1, 2, 3 I can see. Anyway, I need to get this covered with some black plastic. The kale plants seem to have pushed on, but I'm worried about this netting now. I think it needs to come off. But will pigeons take kale? I'm pretty sure they will, so let me know. Should I leave the netting on or take it off? Okay, here are my parsnips, which I'm really looking forward to in these coming winter months. They seem to be doing okay. And there's another little row of them there. There's the beetroot, which I never pulled. And then finally, I don't know, can you see that? I think you might be able to. Those are the Brussels sprouts, which don't seem to be doing very well, but they were battered by the caterpillars. But there are a couple of sprouts growing on the side. So I'm not hopeful, but we'll see what we get. Oh, and I do have 3 rows of leeks and weeds to be getting at during the winter months as well. Well, as I mentioned earlier on in the video, we're at the back end of October, and as such these videos are going to slow down simply because there's not much going on the plot during the winter months. So as a result, I've decided to create another YouTube channel simply because I've looked at the content on this allotment channel and decided some of it doesn't need to be on here, like the juicing videos and the day trip videos. So with this new channel, I'll be able to get my creative juices flowing during the winter months. So I'll let you guys know when that's ready, and if you want to follow me on that, that would be tremendous. I'd love to see you guys on there, so feel free to subscribe, like and share once it's up and running, and I'll let you know when that will be. Alright, well, thank you for joining me today anyhow, if you have, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye for now.